international trainer that comes to us with over 40 years of experience. He is a six-figure ring earner and our newest platinum legacy holder. He is also the first, I'm telling you, the first shareholder in the US of A. And he's known to this family as everybody's coach. And I give to you now the man to bring you Coach Erik Leia today, none other than Coach Erik Robinson.
All right. Can you hear me, Troy? Can you hear me today?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Man, are y'all hearing the stories? Are y'all hearing the testimonies?
Yes, sir.
I don't think y'all got it. If you just tuning into YouTube, you need to go back and watch this last Pass the Ball segment. I'm telling you. And they had a ball. Tawana, the ball. Oh, my goodness. That pass from Tawana to Naja, that was a touchdown. Boy. Woo, I love it. Carol was going to say, Carol was like, uh-oh, you thought it was a fumble. Was she going to catch the ball? She caught that thing. She put a quick juke on and took that to the man. Y'all crushing. If I looked at the score, I think it was something like 65-0. 65-0. Everybody was scoring. It looked like the Redskins and the Cowboys. Oh, my goodness. Well, with that being said, now that the people from Texas are tuned off, ladies and gentlemen, we got something special for y'all today. I got a young lady, I want to bring up and tell a testimony. She was at the Level Up conference, and she was a speaker. And man, her testimony, her story was powerful. It actually brought me to tears. But not only that, her story is so powerful that I got a phone call from her husband. Let me bring it up. No, I'm gonna tell her to sit back, try. After the Level Up conference, Sunday night, I get a phone call. It's from her. And I'm thinking, she just let me know she got home safely, because it's about 9:30. I'm like, okay, she let me know she got home safely. I pick up the phone. Hey, what's going on? I'm unloading my car. And it's like, hey, no, this is not her. This is her husband, Steven. I'm like, something happened? Is she okay? Like, why are you calling me from her phone? What's going on? He said, no. She's okay. I just had to let you know that I watched the Level Up conference live stream on YouTube, and I heard her story. He's like, I knew about 80% of her story, but that other 20% that I didn't know. He's like, Erik, we got to get her message out. People need to hear that, not just in the team. People need to hear her message across the country. And the funny thing about it, I've been telling her since the day I met her, you got something. Let's get your name. Let's trademark your name. Let's pay your name. You got something. She's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. No, I'm sure you got something. I'm like, are you calling me a liar? Or you don't know what I don't? You think I don't know what I know? But this morning I said, hey, I reached out to the speakers group. I said, who wants to share some insight? Her hand was the first to go up. So please help me welcome Executive Director, the first out of the state of Delaware, none other than Mrs. Leia Lynch.
Jedi Master.
Morning, you guys.
The Jedi Master herself is here. Good morning, Leia. How you feeling?
I'm good. I got my first cup of coffee, so we're good. We're good.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Leia, for taking this time and sharing with us. I want to kick this off. That phone call, tell me, how did that go down? That phone call I got from Steven, because it was scary, because like I'm expecting to talk to you just saying, hey, I made it home safe, because I got a couple of those text messages. Made it back, made it home, Texas, made it home. And I'm thinking this is I made it home. And then when I heard your husband on the phone, like, Steve, that ain't right. He never called me. Definitely not from your phone.
That's the problem. Well, the schedule was fluid on Sunday, right? So the original time I was supposed to be on, it kind of got moved, and it got moved again, and then we shuffled some stuff around. So long story short, Steve wasn't able to watch the live stream when it was happening. Okay, he actually jumped. He got in there, but I was probably like 2/3 of the way through. So he maybe came in 15, 20 minutes and he missed the first most of it. And then so when I got home, I stopped and had dinner with my daughter because she lives in Baltimore on the on the way out. So when I got home, I played back the recording, for him. So it was his first chance to see it from the front to the back. And he kind of had that reaction like you. He's like, because I guess he'd never, like we're with our family and they kind of know what we do, but they don't really see you work, right? They don't know what you do. And so he's popping his head in the back here all the time. He sees me in these Zoom calls, but he's never actually seen me like present or anything like that. So anyway, we went back and we looked at it, and part of me was looking at it as I was like, is that me? But he was like, girl, I know Erik keeps saying we got to brand you and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Anyway, so he was like, what's Erik's number? I said, I don't know. He said, you lie. He said, I know you know Erik's number. He said, I need to call Erik. I need to talk to Erik right now. I was like, it's late, man. This has been a long day. Just leave him alone. And he was like, no, give me your phone. So I gave him the phone. He put my finger on the thing, and then he took the phone and he went in the other room. That's what happened. Because he was like, what's Erik's number? I was like, I don't know Erik's number. He said, you're a liar. You talk to him every day. So that's kind of how that happened.
Oh man, I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did. So how did that make you feel when he's like, man, no, I'm hearing your story because it's your story, right? How did that make you feel like now my husband is like seeing me in a different light? What's that like? What's going through your head when he's having that revelation? Like, wow.
It was a little, I don't know, because like when when I'm up on the stage, I was just, I had some notes because I kept losing my place. I had some notes and it kind of helped me along, but when I started talking, I just started talking, right? But when I went back and then when I got off the stage, guys, that's when my stomach dropped out, believe it or not. I was a little nervous before I got up there, and when I got down, my stomach literally dropped out. But it was kind of weird to watch it because I don't know, it's kind of like this watching somebody else from outside kind of thing. It was a little bit weird, and I looked at that and I was like, oh, you did pretty good. But I was a little bit nervous too because we're kind of new. I mean, we haven't even been married like 5 years yet, and he kind of knew. He knew it was rough with my first husband, and but he don't need to know like all that, right? So he didn't really know like everything. I gave him the short after we started dating for a while. I was like, yeah, FYI, you're kind of getting connected here. I just want you to know I'm being stalked. You're probably being followed. So if you really, this is the time to cut and run. You know what I mean? So he sort of knew that there was some stuff going on back there, but not really. And then my first husband, he was the love of my, I mean, absolutely. So I didn't know how he was going to feel about hearing me say that, and so I didn't know how he was going to feel about that. And then, but I think it helped because as we're trying to get to know each other, I was in that marriage at that time when I exited the marriage. I wasn't 48 years old yet. So I'd literally been in that marriage for over half of my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was more than half of my chronological life. And all of my basically adult life, and so especially in the beginning, you don't want to keep bringing past relationship stuff into it. So I didn't talk about my ex, but the things that happened with my kids and stuff like that, he used to be like a little bit weird about that, and I'm like, dude, it was over half my life. I mean, I can't like pretend it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know how he was going to respond to hearing that, but he seemed to. I guess he's like, I won. he's the one, the winner in the end, right? So he's like, he was good, and he's come back a couple times in the. I know you and him talked, and he came to me yesterday and asked me, "Has Erik called you yet?" I said, "No, we're still decompressing from level up. We ain't mess with that right now." So he's serious about it, but he'd never really seen me work before, and he'd never really seen, I guess, my stage presence or whatever he's calling it. So,
you know what?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that though. Because it could sometimes we don't see ourselves in the stage presence, right? Because you're in it. You're you, right? So let's progress through this. You're you, and you're doing the things you're doing, And now people are coming to you like, wow, Leia, your story. You got people right now texting saying your story had me in tears. Um, how are you maneuvering through that process of realizing that, wow, you know what? Maybe I'm bigger than just me. There's other people that need to hear what I got to say. Because there's people on this line who got something to say, but they feel like I'm living in it. So it's like, you know, I'm not special. I'm just me. Because you've been you all your life.
Right.
So talk to that. What's going through in your mind in that presence as you make the transition and say, oh, maybe there is more people telling you about it.
Well, I guess while I was going through it, part of me was like, "Ooh, girl, you need to write a book, right?" So I actually have journals and notes and things like that because, I mean, the hardest part of getting that presentation together was to kind of let you guys know the essence of what's going on without putting all my business out there, right? And so, editing it was challenging, but I got to give it up to Dr. Mary. She gave that assignment. We all need to do this, y'all. We need to do it. Okay. And so it was good for me. So I've thought about kind of getting it out there and writing a book at some point, but I'm still healing. And I'm realizing that every time I go back and try to really get deep into that, I'm still like experiencing again. I'm still feeling it. And so I'm not ready. Okay. So I just was like, other people, my story's not unique. I mean, everybody got problems. And I ain't worried about that. So I had kind of walked away from that idea entirely. But being able to approach it in this way that was a high enough level, I was able to see the value in it without feeling it so much. So now I'm feeling like there is actually a way that I could maybe do this. And I had several people come up to me afterwards that even like we're not part of USAX. I had one agent asked me if I could talk to her daughter because her daughter was going through some memory loss issues and stuff like that. And I don't even know who it was. I gave her my card. I said, "Yeah, I'll talk to you." So I'm starting to understand that I can help more people, and that's all I do when I'm here, y'all. Right? That's the only reason I'm here is because I want to help. I want to help you guys.
That's
So
a
I
good
think I can
point,
do
Leah,
it.
because you're talking about kind of like how do you go into victory? How do you like share the drama without reliving the trauma, right? You know, as you moving through, you don't want to relive the trauma of it, but how do you share your victory, the drama, the victory story with others? Because there's somebody else who needs to see. So now you're going through, you're fighting through, and you're building your agency, you're building your business, right? How do you now keep pushing forward as your business? Sometimes in your business, it can take paths and it can bring back flashbacks of other things that you've gone through already. You're like, oh man, here's this agent. I'm building a team, and this agent sound like this. This person is taking advantage of this. And how do you try to and what are you doing to try to separate that past trauma that as you go through new dramas and not bring it forward? What's some of the things that you do or mentally you tell yourself
Well,
to
first
keep
of all, that was a lot of that 2 days for me. First of all, everybody on this line, thank you. I love y'all so much. You just don't know how important you guys have become to me. And so to get to meet you and hug on you and stuff like that, it's good. But being around that many people for 2 days was really, really stressful on my soul. Okay. And so it drained a lot out of me. Even though I enjoyed it. So I kind of had a little bit of a crash yesterday. And Erik, you and I we had an interesting conversation on Monday, and I actually ended up crying talking to you just because I was already like on the edge anyway. But you ain't really make me cry. I mean, that was me, but so going back and listening to it, what's happening right now, because trying to rebuild my agency, it's a challenge. So going back and listening to it and looking at my summary slides, don't give up. It's not over until it's over. I'm a survivor. All the things, doing nothing is a choice. I need it for me right now. So it's helping me right now. Because I mean, I literally, like yesterday, I told Steve, I said, I don't want to do this no more. I'm wiped out. I'm tired. You know, I just need a minute. And he was like, well, okay, let's just take the day off and I'll take you to the movies or whatever. I was like, nope, nope, I got commitments. People looking for me later today. I can't be just up in this mirror. Okay. So by the end of the day, we got it right. So sometimes the message is for other people and sometimes the message is for us. So me going back and listening to myself again and reacquainting myself with my little summary slides um, is here. And so literally, since we got back from the level up, I've got 5 interviews scheduled trying to onboard a new team. Maybe so I'm back focusing on rebuilding and recruiting the team and stuff like that again.
Well, you
So
got
I
2
needed
more
it
coming
for me.
because Portia says she's in. They may be watching. Portia and McDaniel was on last night, and they was like, "I'm ready. I'm no." I said, Portia's like, "I'm trying to be a billionaire." I'm like, "Are you ready to get to the millionaire?" She said, "No, I'm big." So you got 2 fired up individuals, and McDaniel, if y'all on, you know what you got. We got to get you back in the system.
Yeah, we got to get them back in the
We got to
system.
get you back in the system. But you got 2 more agents fired up. So let's talk about this team building, Leah, because I know. You came in with a team, and you know, my eyes, I'm like, I think you coddled the team and you spoke for the team early. They don't need this, they don't want this, and they want this, and they want that, and then later on they disappear, right? What was that when you have a team? Because you had a team of 30, 40 agents, and then you had executive directors who left. What was that feeling like? And then how did you fight through and say, let me go another day? Because most people ain't never had an ED on their team, period, let alone have an executive director come in and leave, and then let them have a 30, 48 licensed agents come and then leave. You know, you had every reason to just tap out, right? So
Told you nobody will hire me to do anything besides insurance.
so what kept you in the game, and then what then what did you do mentally to try to force through just that part of it? Because some of us are doing it on a smaller scale, and telling you it doesn't change no matter what level you get, y'all. We all go through this ups and downs with our organization.
Well, in the beginning, like I said, since we came out of that environment at the practice company where they were literally being fed leads, okay, all they had to do was pick up the, come in, put on the headphones, and go. They had a different mentality, okay. Those of us who are here and are having any level of success is because Erik and Jacques and Relly, they're teaching us how to hunt. We're hunters. We eat what we kill. You don't hunt, you don't eat. Okay? The team that I brought over me were not hunters. They were not hunters. They like my little dog down there. She waiting for me to put the food down, and she's gonna eat it when I put it down there, but she can't go out and get her own. And that's the mindset of the people that came over with me. So the idea of them having to hunt for their leads, I knew that was going to be a thing. So you said I kind of spoke for them, but I was right. Okay, because in the end, that's really what it turned out to be. Okay, the fact that we couldn't feed them, they just couldn't sit there and have those people just drop on their lap. Okay, it's hard. I've said this before. We tried it at the other company. Try to bring them in one way and teach them how to do. It's like, okay, you try to take a cat and turn it into a dog. They're both very good pets, but they're very different. Okay, so what I'm learning from that, and I'm grateful for my team that transitioned and got me to ED. But the first thing you told me, Erik, when I got over here, so not maybe not the first thing, but kind of close on, was the team that you have in the beginning is not going to be the team that is going to be there later. And I was like, man, you know what you're talking about, right? Okay, but okay, so you're right. Okay, so I had a bunch of cats. I need some dogs. All right. I'm still friends with the cats, but I'm hunting for dogs now. Okay. So when I'm out here doing these interviews, I'm having a different conversation. I'm not taking just anybody who comes up in here. Because some of y'all, some people, I get people's energy like, I can't work with that person. We be bumping heads every day. But I'll point you towards somebody else. Okay. So I'm hunting for dogs right now. I need hungry people, not that domesticated house lap cat. Okay. And so that's going to change the way that I'm bringing the people in. So I'm telling you, we got a system here. If you are not coachable and you're not going to follow my system, we ain't even going to start with this. Yes or no? We're gonna see if that works. But it's gonna take a lot of pressure off of my soul, because it's hard for me. I think one of my biggest challenges is understanding where my limitations are. And what I did before for my W-2 team, and I try not to do it now, is I get invested in you guys. I want you to be so successful. And because I've been through a lot, and every mistake that you're gonna make, I had already made it. All right. All the challenges that you're going through, I quit, I came back, I did well, I was like, ooh, 2 days, I'm gonna be living in the car. I mean, I'd done all that stuff. I don't want those difficult things for any of you. So I want to take the things that I've learned and hope that you're one of those people that can learn from other people's experiences and don't got to stub your toe on every single thing yourselves. Okay. But where I fail in that is that sometimes I get to where I want it for you more than you want it for yourself. And that's where I have to back up and remind myself where the line is. And that's what you were saying to me the other night, Erik, when I started getting all choked up, is you were like, girl, you gotta separate yourself from it a little bit. You can't get too caught up. And that's the problem, is that I want it for my people more than they want it for themselves sometimes. And I get too far in it, and I feel it too much.
You know what, see, Leia, you got to think about it. You put a good analogy, the hunter, and in those, like the cats, you start to like the cats, right? You start to relate, you start to like them. They're like your pets. But here's the problem. When you don't feed the cats, after a while, they start destroying the house that you built.
Yes.
Right? They're like, well, you got to feed me. You're like, nah, you got to go get your own food. But they start destroying the house you built. You're like, but I like it, but he's destroying everything. And now they become the enemy. And you're like, I don't need no daggone pets, right? I don't need nothing. I don't need a team of hunters because I don't want nobody. I don't need no dogs because they're going to do the same thing the cats did. But when you bring them in, even as puppies, if you bring them in as dogs, they're people that know how to hunt. And even they may not be great hunters. One thing I realized, a champion, sometimes they just start young. You can see them. They may not know how to play the game, but they got the mindset, I want to win. They got the mindset, hey, coach, show me how to dribble the ball. Then I'm like, oh, mom and dad be on the side like, hey, put Johnny in the game. And the champion's like, don't put Johnny in the game right now because Johnny can't play. Johnny don't know how to play. Leave his butt on the bench, right? And so you got it's not how good it's the mindset they have. And so now what you're doing, Leia, you say, hey, I'm looking for somebody with that mindset. I'm giving y'all the nugget. I'm looking for somebody. How you bring them in? This is a team of hunters. If you're not that, then this is not the team for you. You have to ready to follow us. Now, don't mean you ain't a good person. I'm not saying you got to be a really good hunter. Do you realize the military takes people and turn them into snipers?
Yeah, we can teach you how to hunt, but you gotta have the spirit for it.
You gotta have the drive to want to be here. They're like, you signed up, you volunteered for this. You didn't get drafted. You volunteered for this. But if you volunteer, we're going to teach you. And if you can't, then we're going to cut you. Are y'all with me? We're gonna part ways if you don't pass it. But you got to have that mindset that I can teach somebody. It's great if you can bring in a sniper who already knows. They become a sergeant automatically. Bam, they're good. We can put them on the track, fast track like a Leia. Leia's a hunter. Her team was not. And that's one of the things I said, Leia, I think you had the ability to turn some of them into hunters, or at least they could find hunters.
That's where I fell down, Erik. Is
yes.
that I came over here and I was like, look, I don't want to hear that multi-level marketing bull, right? Okay. I didn't come over here, that whole idea of build, because I'm close. So I wasn't ready. I was drinking that Kool-Aid, and y'all be hearing Erik be like, don't drink your own Kool-Aid. Don't be like, Jim Jones out there in Guyana drinking their own Kool-Aid, right? Don't drink the Kool-Aid, which is, oh, I don't want to build right now because I got to wait and see how it goes, and so I was not in the building mindset when I came here. And that was part of the reason why I took Erik 8 hours to get me to say yes, because I was like, I ain't trying to do all that. Okay. But now y'all know the people interaction anxiety, which is in my own way of doing that. Now you know a little more reason why that's problematic for me, right? Okay, so I was like, Okay, so if I would have tried to get my transition team to start building, by the time they tapped out, I would have had more people under them that would have basically replaced them.
Yeah.
Now, most of them probably would have tapped out anyway because they were Medicare writing agents. They're over there they're writing Medicare right now somewhere else because we didn't have it. Okay, so whether I would have been able to retain them or not, God only knows that. But if I had done what you asked me, what we coached to do here now from the very beginning, I wouldn't be at the almost ground zero. Now I didn't lose everybody. I still got a few people, okay, but I wouldn't be at that almost ground zero stage because they would have brought other people in, and somebody would have stuck. Now they ain't all of us there, but somebody would have stuck. But I know you were kind of handling me with kid gloves at the time because I was like, dude, I ain't trying to do all that, okay? But I shot myself in the foot. So if y'all sitting here thinking, oh, I don't really think I want to build, I don't really got to do that. I hear Erik, yeah, he talking, nah, 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 nah. Don't do what I did, please. Don't.
Yeah. See, Leia, you was more like a lion in a circus. And I say that because I'm like, no, you're a lion. Don't let the circus fool you. Just because they feeding you here, you are still a lion. They can let you out the cage and you can run. You are that hunter. But she's like, nah, but we got the circus. No, man. You are the lion. Don't let you were just in the circus where everything was being fed. I got the salary. But deep down, I saw she's a lion. You was a lion. And at some point, no matter what, when you get out in the wild, you will figure it out what you've done. Again, and without that team, you ran to your boom, qualified executive director. You run and make money. You know what I'm saying? You run. It's like, man, without them, you're on the stage, Grayson, getting ready to take this thing nationally. Are y'all with? Are you saying that? Without those folks, because you was the lion the whole time. You were just in a circus, and it was kind of being fed, and you forgot. You forgot the lion that was in you, and that what that did for you going through that exercise this weekend made you realize, like,
yeah, Dr. Mary's a genius. In case y'all ain't know that, you gotta give her flowers. Dr. Mary is the. I mean, we love you, Erik, but Mary's the glue, right?
oh, I get it. She's a lion. I just follow orders.
Yeah.
She gonna bite my head off. I know how to play my role. That's one thing. That's one thing I realize is, hey, play your role and don't worry about it. Are y'all with me?
Yeah, because when I got the assignment, I literally was like, so I called Mary. I said, okay, you got something in your mind. What is the vision that you give me the long arc? Where you kind of want me to go with this? And I was hoping she was going to feed me a little, outline or something. And she was like, no. She gave me about 3 sentences. She was like, just kind of run with it. I was like, oh, okay. And so it took me a minute, but when you look at those of you who've been to Level Up, now this time and the time before, it's not random. Okay, there's a plan. There's an arc. We've got content, we've got interactive, we got that right every single time. Every single time. And so what do you say, Erik? Sometimes we play and you got to do for you, but we got to play team.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I'm not really sure where she's going with this whole thing. And I'm not going to ask. I'm going to try to do what I'm asking.
And I'll tell you, she was like, she used to say, I'm like, Mary, just let people take their own topic. She's like, no. I said, people got their things. She's like, no. I'm like, you know what? Let me shut up. Let me get out of it. Because I was for like, hey, let them do their thing. She's like, no. And we had a little back and forth. And I'm like, you know what? Ain't my role. Let me sit out. That's why I ain't in no committees. So let me exit stage left before I exit. Let me just exit stage left. You see that, Dr. Ray? I didn't say you was gonna give me a black eye this time. I just said I just left it alone. I still did it.
You did good. You didn't end up on the couch, Erik. You did a good job.
I'm somehow in the way what I just said is gonna put me on a couch. Let me just go get my blanket and pillow now. But she did. She really put that together. So Leia, let's do something special. We usually have our recap with Rita. But since we got you here and I just feel it, I feel the source and I feel people where you are and it's that breakthrough, this level up breakthrough, y'all. So Do y'all mind if do you mind we give people a chance to ask you some questions, right? Put you on a hot seat
Oh,
for the
sure.
instead of doing recap. Can we put you on a hot seat?
Yeah, I can do
All right,
that.
cool, y'all.
We
Well,
all
with
friends
that
over
being
here.
said, I'm going to fade out and put your hands in the air and y'all wave like you just don't care. And let's get some questions for Leia D. Lynch. Come on, come on. All right, first hand I see up. Well, Troy, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. I'm gonna let you host this hot seat because that's I'm not gonna steal your segment, but just gonna direct it.
Oh, okay. Well, this is we're gonna say Annie Willie inspired recap relay featuring none other than the Jedi herself, Miss Leia D. Lynch. So the questions that you have, you need to have your baton in hand and ready to hand it to her. Ready? Let's start it off with none other than the Griot Leo.
Princess Leia.
Hey, Mr. Wada.
So I don't have a question. I have a statement.
Okay.
I saw you for the first time last year at the Level Up. And I told you, I don't know if you remember this, and when you got up on that stage and you came down, I said something special about you.
I do remember.
I said,
And you hugged my neck.
I did.
Yes, you
I
did.
said something about her. I couldn't put my finger on it. Something special about you. So when you got up there and told your story, I have mad respect for you and your journey. And I am extremely inspired by your strength, your courage, and your tenacity. And that's it. I love you.
Thank you, sister. I love you too. You were the first person that came up to me when I came off that stage and hugged me. And last year's Level Up was really, really hard. It was scary for me. It was very scary for me because I didn't really know anybody. And you were the first person when I came up that stage and you came and hugged me. So thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you, Ms. Tawana, for bringing it into the zone. And now we're going to pass the baton on to none other than the superstar, Miss Takesha Carr. And you got to take it to the coach first before you start running. So give it to the coach, Miss Leia D. Lynch.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, Leah. I echo every sentiment Tawana said, and you know how you and I roll. We've already had this discussion. But I recall our text conversation on Monday, and what transitioned from what was the wake-up call for where you were just ultimately just frustrated with what everything had, and what was that reset moment from then to now?
When we were texting on Monday, Takesha, I was actually still crying.
Okay.
You were texting me on Monday. Now I wasn't like bawling, but just
I got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you were texting me on Monday, I felt, because we were in that ED meeting and your camera wasn't on, but you must have felt what was going on with me because you just kind of reached out. I was like, man, okay. And so I just had to kind of get through that. One of the things that I do for myself, because I spent 20 some years on antidepressants. So I've been down the rabbit hole. Okay. I've gone through big periods where I don't have health insurance, so I'm not medicated anymore. So I got to deal with it on my own. So I refuse to let myself get back down on that thing. So when I get into these spirals where I feel like I'm slipping again, I actually have like a little timer. And I'll set like a little egg timer for myself and say, girl, you get to feel sorry for yourself for 5 minutes. And when the bell goes off, you're done. So after you texted me, you were like, girl, it's going to be all right. And you said, if you need anything, I'm here. And I was like, you know what? It's time to set the timer. I went in the kitchen. I got the egg timer. I twisted around. I sat there, felt sorry for myself, told myself all the dumb stuff that we talked to ourselves. And then the timer went off, and I said, it's time to go back to work.
That is awesome to hear you say that. I did that when my mom passed. I didn't have an egg timer, but I would time myself, and I would say, okay, you have 15 minutes. to grieve, to cry, to do whatever you want to do. When that 15 minutes is up, you got to get yourself back together. So I admire you. I admire your honesty and just your transparency. And we learn so much just from everyone's experience. And like you said, we don't necessarily have to go through it to understand it. And sometimes, even as parents, that thing where we say, don't necessarily do as I do, but do as I say. And our kid never listen. I'm telling the team here, the village, listen. Listen, learn from our experiences so that it's not so easy, so bad on you. And I appreciate you, Leah. Thank you so much for taking my question.
Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you, Miss Takesha Carr, superstar, for bringing it into the zone. And now we're going to put the baton in the hand of the outstretched hand of Miss MBA Monique Pinkney, your insurance and tax pro. Take it to the coach first. Nobody's getting on the track today without going to see the coach.
Thank you so much, Troy. And it's such a pleasure to see you this morning, Leah. My statement before I ask my question is that I appreciate you sharing your heart. And we were able to talk. That made it even more special.
It was so good to finally meet you.
Yeah, beforehand and after. But I just wanted to say that you are not only a survivor, a winner, an overcomer. It makes it so much more, it hits me because I'm tearing up now because your whole goal is to help people. And I told you when I saw you, you don't look like what you've been through. And that's a testimony in itself. So thank you so much for everything that you shared. And then I can relate when you talked about looking for a dog as opposed to a cat. So I want to ask, what are the characteristics that you're looking for in a dog?
When I'm looking at these people's, like I was looking at this guy's resume on Indeed the other day. So the first thing I want you to, when you guys are trying to build this team, don't judge people, okay? The one that you think is going to be the superstar turned out to be the dud. The one you think ain't going to do nothing is going to be the one. Yeah. So the guy I sent an AOA out to yesterday, when I saw his resume, I saw a series of different positions. He sold solar panels. He did landscaping. He did all these things, okay? But what I saw somebody who's hungry, who will do whatever he has to do to feed his family. I'm looking for the fire. I'm looking for a hunter. So they come to me and they're like, oh, I don't have the papers. I'm like, the papers are not all that. So what you want to do is you're looking for, first of all, you got to get, I'm just an energy person. So when I'm on the phone with them or whatever, I got to get a vibe off of them. If we get a weird vibe, I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Okay. But besides that, I'm asking them, what is it, give me a minute. I pretend I'm trying to pull up their resume. I may look at it or whatever. Tell me, what is it that is making you want to change whatever your situation is right now? Why are you in here looking for this job right now? Okay. And depending on the answer that they're giving me back, and some of them, when they don't have the big credentials, this guy had a GED. Okay, so he's kind of apologizing for that. I'm like, no, Patrick, what I see is somebody who's hungry. I'm looking for somebody who's hungry. Do you want to eat or am I going to have to feed you? I ain't got time to feed you. Okay, so that's what I need. That's I think is going to make the difference. Okay, but don't judge these people based on their paper and stuff like that. So when I see these resumes that I got master's degrees and PhDs and all this, that's just like me. I got all these papers, okay, but nobody would hire me. I'm over, so obviously something going on. Right. So just don't judge anybody. Just be open. If they're willing to come in here and do it, and if they're willing to let you pour into them, just make sure that they have a vessel that can actually take what you're giving them. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Monique.
Man, dropping nuggets. I'm sorry I had to say it.
Okay. I see this nice money model.
All right. And we're looking at now. Thank you for bringing it into the zone. And now we get to pass it on to none other than Najee, the money model. And you too have to take it to the coach.
Thank you so much. Executive Director Leia, when you spoke at the conference the other day, you really, really touched me, and I'm sure you touched the hearts and souls of everyone in that room. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I think it did a lot for the people that were in the room. And I know that you have a servant heart and you're about helping. I've contacted you to get your help and get on your calendar, and you've helped me. So my question is, um, where do you think you went wrong with your team, and how have you started to rebuild? What are you doing to start that rebuild?
So like I said in my presentation, there's no failures. There's just an opportunity to learn to make another choice. Okay. So I think, like I was saying earlier, is that I really did not embrace the concept of trying to build, because I didn't really want to, I wasn't focused on the fact that there's a certain level of attrition that's part of this business. Okay. So that's where I could have done better. Okay. So what did I learn from that? First of all, listen to Erik and Uncle Jock when they say you need to go out there and build y'all. So please listen to these men in here. They're giving you the secret sauce, and sometimes we don't want to hear it. So there was that. And like I said, right now I'm literally trying to go back, and as we bring people through, the 4-step system and the blueprint, in that beginning where we do that time blocking that we do for people. If y'all haven't really done your time blocking, please go back and do it. Okay. So I find myself, because I'm full time here, sometimes we don't do the things that we're telling y'all to do. Okay. So the thing that I'm struggling with the most right now is I'm actually blocking time for recruiting. I wasn't doing that. I didn't have like an active time block that says I'm going to spend X number of hours per week actively trying to seek new team members. So I'm going back and practicing what I'm preaching to the rest of you guys and trying to do that. So if you haven't done it, do it. You need to. And then the other thing that I'm trying to do better is, and I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do this yet, but I know that I need to. The social media aspect of this has been challenging for me, because the part I didn't share in that thing is that after that divorce, he didn't want to pay me. There was conditions on the divorce, so he literally stalked me. So I ended up in California, because that's about as far as I could go without falling in the water. Okay, so I was being followed and stalked the whole time. So I kind of deliberately tried to have a 0 digital footprint. Okay, so he couldn't find me. So I was like, okay, if you're gonna have me followed, I'm gonna make this expensive. Okay, so I kept moving around and I kept jumping around stuff, but I didn't have a digital presence. So that's part of the reason why I'm struggling online now to get a following and stuff, because I've been trying to keep people out of my business and trying to keep him from knowing where I was at. Okay, and I finally got to a point where he was supposed to pay me for X period of time or whatever. He's trying to figure out how to not pay me this money, okay, which is why he's having me followed. And I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? He's still controlling my life and I'm not even in it. Just keep your freaking money, and I'll just struggle and do it on my own. Okay, so now I'm here and I need that digital presence. So all this time that Jock and Erik are pouring into us in this inside the studio, this is some real talk, y'all. Don't snooze on that. So I need to figure out how to overcome the knot that I have, like right here, of putting myself out there, so that I can get out of my own way in a digital way. So those are the two things that I'm going to be trying to do differently. I'm sorry I went on too long for that.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Been running all in and out of the lanes and stuff like that, all over the place. Man, that story right there just messed you up. Thank you, Najee, for bringing it into the zone. Though you got it back in the right lane, girl. And we're gonna, we're gonna take that baton now. We're gonna put it in the hands of none other than Dr. Teresa O'Day. All right, and you too have to take it to the coach. Give it to the Jedi right now.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you, Ms. Leah. I know I connected with you on WhatsApp. Oh,
Yes,
goodness.
yes.
Oh, you made me cry. You made me uh elated. You got me in all ways that day. But question for you. You made mention of some of the disabilities you had.
Challenge,
And
challenge.
okay, sorry, wrong term there.
It's all right.
Challenges. Absolutely, I agree totally. Um, the challenges you had. Um, what were some things personally did you incorporate in your life daily? Just strategies that helped you bounce back to where those challenges, even though they may, but they did not hold you back to achieving your goals.
Okay, that's a good question. I think one of the biggest transition that I had to make, first of all, was to stop denying that there was actually something still going on with me. Okay.
Mm,
So
mm,
neurologically, you heard me say I've had meningitis and encephalitis. So one
mm,
one of those diseases attacks the brain, the other attacks the fluid that surrounds the brain. So they kind of in there. Okay. So I actually have some long-term neurological issues. But the reason I was having all those seizures and stuff is because I just denied it. And I just kept pushing myself. So the first thing was stop, just acknowledge what is going on with you, girl. You can't do everything you used to do. So there was that. So what I try to do, but I also was on a lot of pharmaceuticals. And don't get me wrong, better living through chemistry. Sometimes we need to do that. But the effect that those drugs were having on my personality and my current cognition were not acceptable to me. So I refused to take anti-seizure medication. So in order to manage that, what I try to do is cultivate a practice of mindfulness. Okay. And I have to remind myself when I'm going through all these things, I was like, you know what? I'm going through stuff right now. And I remind myself, I say, you know what? God always comes through. Now, sometimes it's 11:59. Okay. But I'm like, he didn't bring me all this way to drop me on my head. It's going to be all right. And when I start worrying about that, that's when I get in trouble. So I remind myself, you can either pray or you can worry. You're either going to give it to God or not. Now, God helps those who help themselves, so don't be stupid about it. But you can pray or you can worry. So I remind myself of that. And then I try to cultivate a practice of mindfulness that when I go to bed at night, I try to make sure that my mind is clear. Because when I have these little mini seizures, most of them happen in my sleep. Okay. So, which is why I wear this little watch now, because that picture of that little dog, that was my service dog. I lost him about a year and a half ago. Okay. So I try to go to bed with as clear a mind as possible. And then when I wake up in the morning, before I touch my phone or anything, I take a couple of minutes to breathe and kind of do like a body scan and see how I'm, where am I today? And then I tell myself how the day is going to go. So if I tell myself it's going to be a tough day, yeah, I'm usually right. And when I tell myself it's going to be a good day, I'm usually right. So you have to set that tone. So with this society where we're being bombarded by information all the time, I put my phone on snooze at a certain time at night and it wakes up in the morning. So I'm not getting those text messages and stuff like that. So I'm going to challenge you guys that when you wake up in the morning, you take that moment to set your tone for your day. Don't touch the phone. Don't touch the phone. Even if, it's going to be hard. Some of y'all, it's going to be hard. You wake up, you go, whoop, right? I don't care if you only give yourself 1 minute and then grow that to 2 minutes, to 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Lay there before you get out of that bed and focus and decide how this day is going to go. And then sometimes I do the little body scan, and now I have my little aura ring, and it gives me some feedback. And some days I'm not feeling it. Okay, because my body does give me a warning before I have seizures. Now I pay attention. I didn't just pay attention. Okay, so the days when I'm not feeling as well, now I can turn my phone on and look at the feedback from my ring, and it'll tell me, Leah, your state of readiness is not as in the zone where it needs to be. You need to be kind to yourself today. You need to take it a little easier today. So every day you're not going to feel like you can run out there and conquer the world, and you need to honor that when that's actually happening to you. Well, at least for me, because if I push myself too hard, instead of just having maybe one slightly unproductive day, I end up with 3 days where I'm down because I'm trying to recover from the stupid because I pushed myself too hard.
Mm.
Whew, thank you, Lee. I'm sorry I had to
Thank
cut. I had
you
to cut
so
in, but
much.
thank you. That was just you just spoke to me. I'm sorry. I'm off.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, how many more
Appreciate
hands
that.
are up, Troy?
I
I
see
can't
3.
see because I'm
Looking
driving.
at 2, including
Is
you, makes 3.
Is it any way I can go first, ladies and gentlemen? Only because I'm getting ready to pull up the Donna's joint, and I don't want to be late.
That's coach's call. That's
Absolutely.
coach's call.
Please
We're
go.
gonna substitute. We move the line a little bit. We're gonna put Uncle Jock in. Uncle Jock, get ready to run. Let's go, Uncle Jock.
Hey, good job.
Thank you. Hey, Leah. Real quick, do I have permission to speak freely?
Always, bro.
Man, I love you. How many people like felt when she was on that stage? I think I was talking to Dr. Mary. I was like, man, I just want to go up there right now in the middle of your testimony. I said it twice. I was like, I just want to go give her a hug because I felt that energy. I felt the vibe.
Man.
And the thing is, I'm gonna tell you why I'm so glad that you shared your story. Number one is because I could see that you needed to get that out of your system. You needed to get that off of your chest. And we could totally see you divesting yourself in real time, like on stage. You know what you were doing? It looked like you were doing, you were saying, you know what? This is the final chapter of this thing holding me down. It's almost like you stepped out of a too tight uniform or straitjacket. And it's like you freed yourself in real time in front of people. Did anybody else get that feeling or get that
Yep.
thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She
And the
found her
thing is,
superpower.
I think you're right, Jock. I think you're right.
man, when I tell you, trust me when I tell you this, your story is so powerful. You can use it if you take your time. You can use your story to leverage prospects, clients, and business partners. Your story is so powerful because it has all the ingredients. It has love intertwined with it. It has hate intertwined with it. It has like real. Hold on, y'all. This guy's being impatient beside me with a big old truck. But no, your story, leverage it, use it as your superpower. Because when you stepped off of that stage, you looked like you were just free. And I just want to say, I've only known you for about a year, but I swear some of you all, it just feels like you've been around forever. And I'm gonna tell you when I knew you were a real staple in this family, because you allowed us to see you in a vulnerable state in more than one occasion. One was on that stage. Two, the other night, we were giving you some tough love. You could have just said, man, look, y'all, I'm tapping out. Hit the bye, see you later button. But just know, when we giving it to you like that, and this is for everybody, we see stuff sometimes in you all that you don't see in yourself.
Man.
And Leah, you got greatness inside of you. Greatness that's just waiting to come out. And the whole thing is, you're a super hero yourself, but you got a whole team and a whole village of Avengers that ain't gonna let you down. If you slip to the left, slip to the right, you wake up one day having a bad day, it's okay. Just make a phone call and say, hey, I need somebody to step up. That's what we're here for. We're here to guide you, develop you, grow with you, learn from you, and all get to where we need to get to by being coachable. And so, Leah, I just want to say again, I love you, sis. And I'm so glad that you didn't check out. All those times you were probably ready to just say, look, I like you, forget you two, I'm out of here. So I just want to say thank you. And Troy, back to you.
All right, all right. Thank you, Uncle Jock, for bringing it into the zone with brakes on.
He's right.
Got the
You know, that's right.
skids.
He's right.
The
That's the
skids.
first time I've ever, you know, except for individuals one-on-one, I've never actually told, and y'all really don't even know like that much of it. I've never really told my story to anybody. Part of it's because there was the divorce came with a gag order that I wasn't allowed to divulge what was really going on there because it would have impeded his professional, which is what it was all about, climbing the ladder. Okay, so I was under a gag order for a long time. And then I just decided, oof, you know, I couldn't do it. So that is actually the first time I've actually, and I'm listening to him. I'm like, you know what? He's right. He's right. I haven't really shared my story with, you know, except for my family that's kind of watching me sort of trying to come out of it. So he's absolutely.
I saw the relief that you had as you were telling the story. I saw it's almost like we were watching you peel off layers of weight that was holding you down. So thank you for just being that courageous to be that transparent in that type of moment.
You're absolutely right. All right.
You gotta put the brakes on. Man, oh my gracious. Yeah, thank you, Uncle Jock, for bringing it to the zone. Yeah, you not by yourself. We all love you. Leah, we love you. Good Lord. That, oh my gracious. That's amazing. And with that being said, let's go on and keep it moving. Oh man, Miss LaShonda Durden, the sacred plug. Come on and ignite the stage right now with Miss Leia Lynch, the Jedi.
Thank you. Thank you, Troy, so much. Leah, you
Hey,
already
sis.
know. I love you. I respect you. And I am so appreciative of the vulnerability that you brought to the space. You and I have had a lot of conversations. We even did an interview about your personal history. And I see now why I was not led to post it yet because it was not time. You needed that cleansing the way it happened. And I am so very proud of you for all of that. I know it's supposed to be a question, but I don't have no question. I just want to say thank you so much, girl. I love you, and your strength is unmatched. Keep running the play. We love you.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you for bringing it into the zone with that unmeasurable strength. That's right. That's right. You highlighting it for her and letting her know that we love her just like that. And now we have somebody that is the new to the track. He is ready to run apparently because he got his hand up. We talking about Mr. Vondell Patillo.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for
Good morning.
allowing me to come in and speak. I don't have any questions. I've been doing this far too long. But first, I want to give homage to Charlotte Jeffries, because I am her invite. But the stories that I heard this morning, I don't see anything bad, anything wrong. But Miss Leah, you are amazing. And I study and I teach my team certain things. And I like to teach them from the animal kingdom. But you clearly, your story, and if you know, you've been around for a while, you know your story is that of an eagle, a red eagle. Reds are very powerful, very strong, very forceful. Nothing can stop us. But as far as an eagle, they can survive greatness up to 35 years. Then you have to make a decision on how they transition for the next 35 years. And I see you right now, and at this point in your life, you're like on year 37 right now. So that means you got a long way to go, and you're going to have a powerful team behind you doing it, because when you was 35 and younger, you ate smaller animals, if that makes sense. But now you're going to 70, understand the life of an eagle. When they have to go up to the top, they go to the mountains, they break off their beak. Their talons can no longer grab fish because they're rubbery and soft. You got to wait till that beak grows back. Your beak has grown back because you're speaking. Now that your beak is speaking, you're snatching out them rubber talons so that now when the new ones grow back, you can rake out them dead feathers that's been hanging around with your dead teammates. But woman, you are powerful. You got people standing behind you, and I'm ready to rock and roll because somebody threw that ball to me this morning, and I grabbed it, I intercepted it, and I'm going to run with y'all. And I thank Miss Charlotte Jeffries for inviting me. And only thing I can say, let's go get it. To everybody on the team, all the leaders, all the speakers, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I can just simply say, let's get it, because when you plan to fail, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and that's not going to happen here. So back to y'all. Let me get out of the way, and I'll be speaking with Miss Jeffries so we can start my process on running.
Excellent. Thank you
That's
for
what
that
I'm talking
insight,
about.
sir. Thank you. I wrote down on my little board.
Welcome
Eagle.
aboard.
I have a little dry board. I wrote Eagle on my board. I'm gonna look that up. Thank you, bro.
Yes,
Mr. Patino came on the track, shining boy for the first time on the track. He
I
got it in.
recommend everybody look up the life story of an eagle and that of a lion, and become those two animals. And if you want to go a little step further, also look at the baboons, because the baboons they do team play. They all fight together.
Yes, they do.
So baboons, lions, and eagles, I guarantee you, you will be on your way to greatness, and there won't be no complaints. But this team, y'all seem like y'all on fire, and I'm glad to be a part of the family.
All
And I'm
right,
not
welcome to the village.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the village.
Welcome
Thank you for bringing that baton into the zone. And we now get the chance to pass it on to this lady that inspired it all, Miss Annie Willie. Let's get it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for being so transparent. And I thank you, everybody's coach, for imbibing Annie Willie's segment. You know, you mentioned briefly about what happened, how Mr. Steve contacted you. It wasn't clear to me what actually happened until today. You talk about it with Miss Leia. I still did not get the clarity. However, during this segment, I have learned a lot. I'm sure most people have also. So I will do myself the justice of going back to that episode in the Level Up so I can hear exactly what transpired. And I have also learned that I have to block time to recruit intentionally, according to Miss Leia. Also, to be a hunter, because you hunt and you eat, and also be a farmer, because being a farmer, you are recruiting, you're building your team, you're planting an apple tree, and that apple tree is going to bear fruit, and that fruit your family are going to eat, your generation are going to eat, instead of going to the store to buy it every time. So be a farmer and be a hunter at the same time. That way you are a builder. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for pulling that together so cleanly.
Well, thank you, Miss Annie Willie. We so appreciate you bringing it into the zone, and I'll do it with a nice, mild mannered, and in a most mannered way, so that I can pass it on to none other than the next fireball that is ready to take this thing. Shout and run with it. She is none other than, you know who it is, Miss Sarita Thomas, that $6 million woman. Take it to the coach.
Thank you, Troy. I really appreciate that. Leah, I'm going to be real quick with it because it's going to be hard to get it out. You are the reason I joined Xperia. I had an opportunity to pause and say that to you as we were passing, coming out the doors. And I'm going to take it even deeper. Our stories are very similar. I was led to you. You were the very I looked up and saw you on that stage, and something lifted in me. Something changed me. I was struggling. I was in a place of challenge. Something drew me to you without complete understanding at that time. It never, ever, ever left me. During the time that you were doing your presentation, I just happened to pass Miss V, who needed to do something inside, and she was getting to the table with her husband to get him situated, and said that she needed to be inside. I said, Miss V, I will sit with him. And so I sat and had breakfast with a very delightful gentleman while you were speaking. When I later heard your story, I now know why I couldn't be in the room when you said it. It all came together. The reason I was to meet you, the reason I was to come to Level Up was to see you, that transformation, but to also say now what you spoke about on that stage will never go backwards. You're speaking your words of freedom, stepping out of that chrysalis, transforming into who you are. You will breathe deeper for the rest of your days. You will live more joyful for the rest of your days. You will find profound peace for the rest of your days because you spoke it. You stopped hiding it. You stopped being small in it. You will continue to grow forward and glow forward. I'm grateful for you. You have no idea how much seeing you on that stage changed me. So please know that there are so very many of us that love you and are changed by you, and continue to take your message forward because stories heal everyone's lives.
Thank you, Miss Sarita. You told me that before, because you saw me at Level Up last year, right?
Yes.
Right, when I was in the sales process.
That was my first introduction to the company. I saw you at Level Up and I was like, I want to be wherever she is. I want to drink whatever water she is. I want to have that Kool-Aid. I want to be as dynamic a presence on stage with that knowledge and the ability to translate that knowledge to help people change their lives. That's what I saw in you at Level Up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the other thing I hear from that I hope everybody else is hearing is that you never know how you're impacting somebody. And when we put things out, they don't manifest themselves visibly right away.
Yes.
But it's just like raising children, right? You got to be careful. They're always watching.
Yes.
Always watching. So thank you. And that helps me. Especially it helps me.
It will only continue to go forward in positivity. Just
man, thank you for bringing it into the zone. Yeah, I tell you that's bionic style. You see them rubbing shoulders, and they just keep transforming and morphing into bigger stuff. I'm like, oh my gracious! And now we're gonna take that baton and we're gonna put it in the hands of Miss Carol Sampson. Take it to the coach.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. I just want to say I'm trying to, oh my God, I'm trying to keep from tearing up because we all have a backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And your story is so powerful because I've been through stuff being adopted. So I appreciate it. And thank you, Coach Erik and Uncle Jock, everybody for letting her share because this is encouraging for me. And when is the podcast going to start? That's it.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of folks could use some healing, I'm sure, and they gonna get it from here. If they hear this, oh my gracious, that's unbelievable, man. Well, family, I don't know what to tell you. I think we came across the finish line in grand style today. Everybody's in the victory circle, and we gotta celebrate with Miss Leia D. Lynch. Yes, indeed. The jet.
Thank you, guys.
We all got you on our shoulders right now, and we running around a winner's circle saying, go Leah, go Leah, go Leah, go Leah. All right. Well, with that being said, we want to thank each and every one of you for coming out this morning, for participating, and good morning, experts. It has been a phenomenal day, and we'd like to thank Mrs. Tawana Chisley, the Griot Leo, for hosting our Pass the Ball segment. And not only that, we want to also thank everybody's coach for hosting the masterclass of the day. And that's what real coaches are made of. Expert coaches, phenomenal coaches. They don't mind sharing the spotlight and helping you and bringing in other folks and highlighting them to get you the help that you need when you need it. and none other than Miss Leia D. Lynch to fit the bill this morning. Did she do it? Did she do it? Everybody come off mute. Just give her a big round of applause. Kudos. Yeah.
Yes,
Leia Lynch.
awesome job,
Yes, thank
Leah.
you.
Awesome, Leah.
Indeed, indeed. So I'm sure, well, if you, well, I don't know what to tell you. You just got to go back and catch the recap, on Erik's YouTube channel, so that everybody's coach, Erik with a K, Robinson. All right, so that you can see it again, because I know it was too many nuggets for you to take it all in. So you're gonna have to go back and get it again. All right. With that being said, everybody should know what to do, or at least how to get started, and then you can go back and find the rest. And so let me just ask the question. Now that you know a little bit of what to do, what's next?
Drill it.
Drill it till you kill it. With that being said, I'm Troy Gandy, your Index Voice of Inspiration, signing off from Good Morning Experts. And now, Coach Erik, back to you.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Troy. I was going to say thank y'all for taking the time. We appreciate you. We love y'all. See y'all tomorrow, our last day for Good Morning Experts for the week. Leia, again, just thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being like a sister. I used to look at you as my little sister. Tell Steve, he's like my brother-in-law. So it's just a pleasure to spend time with you, get to know you. The things you do for the team. I mean, every Tuesday and Saturday you're training. I mean, even when your team wasn't there, you're training Tuesdays and Saturdays for the village. That just speaks to your character. I know it takes time away from your family, it takes time away from things, but I think God was just preparing you for such a time as this, for your coming out. It's like Diana.
The world to know.
Yeah.
Ready show.
And, I don't know if y'all caught this. A lot of y'all are coming out. Y'all say, hey, I got a story. Y'all, it's 300 million people in the United States. Y'all can't, it's more stories to tell. It's more people to touch. Are y'all with me? It's more stories to tell. It's more people to touch. You just heard the gentleman come in and say, man, I teach my team about the animal kingdom, right? But guess what? He said, Charlotte Jeffries introduced me. But there would be no Charlotte Jeffries be able to introduce if you didn't have like a Takesha Carr staying in the car. Are y'all with me? If that doesn't, if the village don't support her, because she's had to Takesha rebuild her team 3 times. There's no story to tell 2 years later if she taps out. Are y'all catching that?
Mm-hmm.
So I need y'all to start seeing, not today, see tomorrow, see beyond. And I'm gonna close with this. Now listen to the gentleman, Monty Holmes. He said 3 things. And Monty Holmes now is the founder of AOG and is co-CEO of AOG, in which Experior Financial Group is a part of AOG, which is a holding company, it's a conglomerate that now has other 13 entities. They bring in IMOs. But he said something. And this is a guy who's built a team of 30,000 people. He was then president of one of the largest insurance companies out there with over 80,000 agents. And he ran that company. So he did it from the field, and then he did it from the corporate side, and amassed tens of millions of dollars in income as a rep. And so he said something. He said, for the next 12 months, he said, there's 3 ways people run their business. He said, they run it either casually. He said, when you run through things casually, you typically become a casualty. He said, then you run it with urgency. And I felt, in my life, I kind of think I was urgent. But it was, come on, I was urgent. And that's okay. You run with some urgency. He said, but for the next 12 months, you want to know how the champions do? They run with a sense of emergency. And that's a difference. I remember my wife was having a situation about a month and a half ago with her heart. We was at the church, and she said, Erik, something's going on in my heart. I think I need to get to the hospital. And she came out and we said, hey, right in the middle of service, church service, like, hey, and we're in a church we've never been to, in a town we ain't used to being in. We are 2 hours away from my house. And I'm like, hey, she's like, y'all got a nurse? I'm like, there's a nurse. Like, I think this so-and-so's nurse. Can somebody go check on somebody? So for them, it was casual and maybe urgent. Let's, service is going. And I'm looking at my wife, I'm like, no, this is an emergency. I got in the car, honey, let's go. We get in the car. 911, we run on the red lights. 911, we call 911. They're like, hey, do you want to pull over? I'm like, I'm not pulling over. This is an emergency. I'm running lights. If you want to tell somebody, tell the police they're going to have to catch me at the front door of the emergency department at the hospital. They ain't gonna catch me at patients, the outpatients, the pulling in, whatever. No, they're gonna have to catch me. They're gonna have to put them little spikes on. You want us to pull up for the ambulance? No, I ain't waiting. This is an emergency. I'm getting her to the emergency room. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 12 months, I need y'all to run your business like it's a sense of emergency. There's a difference because something is getting ready to happen and you don't want to miss out. Most of us are in financial emergencies, but we're acting like it's just casual. Like it's normal to not have the resources. It's normal to not be able to go where you want to go, travel when you want to travel, do the things you want to do. It's no longer normal to be in a financial situation that you can't tell people, yeah, I got money in the bank. What do you think? It ain't normal to act like you ain't broke. Well, hey, you want to go on vacation? You want to go here? Nah, I got something going on. No, you ain't got nothing going on. Your money ain't going on. Next level up, we're gonna hey, we in it for a week. Let's go somewhere. Let's travel somewhere. We're gonna do it to a beach. We're gonna go. Are y'all catching me? Let's run with a sense of urgency because that's what's happening in our company. People are doing $1 million, $1.2 million. And somebody say, Eric, what about you? I'm telling you, I've been urgent, but I haven't been in an emergency. But if I look down at my bills, it's like, bro, my bank account said, oh, Eric, no, you don't realize you're in a state of emergency. You're just in a state of denial. You said the first thing you had to do, Leah, was understand that I had a challenge. I had to stop denying the challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop denying that our business, our finances in a state of emergency. The government is shut down. So many people do not freaking have money. Some people, like I was on food, they was already in a casual state of emergency on food stamps. Now that's gone. Y'all, we got a mission. Run with a sense of emergency, not urgency. With that being said, DJ, take us out. Team, who gets a green sheet?
Everybody gets a green
Get a
sheet.
green sheet.